This week on Barbell Shrugged, we interview CrossFit Level 1 seminar staff.
Shree Chan.
Nick.
Pat Barber.
Chris McDonald.
Not on staff.
You gotta nuzzle the nose, not the beard.
Right,
Nuzzle
fair
the
enough.
nose.
Like the click commander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just say the click commander?
Yeah, well, I mean.
3, 2, and 1, go.
Welcome to Barbell Shrugged. I'm Mike Bletzer here with Chris Moore. Doug Larson is on vacation. We had to leave him behind because some CrossFit Level 1 seminar staff was in town and over at CrossFit Chickasaw, and I went over and abducted them. I was like, we're getting a podcast with the team, no matter what.
I thought you were driving us out in the middle of nowhere to kill us, but other than that, it's great.
I was like, yeah, just come out. The studio is out that way.
Yeah.
Baited us with barbecue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worked well.
We went to Central Barbecue.
Drunk.
Yeah.
It was quite good.
They will do anything now once they've had the barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
I think. Yeah.
True that.
The mouths are good and greasy.
Before you do anything, before you listen any further, make sure to go to barbellshrug.com, sign up for the newsletter, and you will be notified of all these cool podcasts we've been doing, and maybe some other stuff too. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
The mysterious.
I think
lead-in.
Pat knows.
I know now.
I told him all about it on the way
He
here.
told me the secret caverns of the website. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I like
So if you want to know what those things might be, you should probably go sign up for that newsletter.
Fair enough.
All right. We have with us, oh, geez. Here we go. Chris.
Okay.
Last name?
McDonald.
Chris McDonald.
Not Mac. Don't say Mac.
Not
Mick.
a Mac. It's a Mick.
He's a Mick. All right. Pat Barber.
Yep.
Sherry Chan. I read it all the time, but I don't know how to. Well, I know how to say it now.
You're right.
All
Shree Chan.
We have Nick over here.
Yeah, Nick Tomlinson.
All right.
Tomlinson.
I should have said what you guys are known for as we went around. Now we're going to go back around. Nick, you own CrossFit Temecula?
Yeah, out in Temecula, California, about an hour
right.
north of San Diego.
Oh,
All right.
sweet.
Sheree, multiple games, years of games athlete. What's that mean? I can't.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I can't say multiple.
Are you drunk already? I don't know how this works.
Yeah.
I'm drinking tea. I'm drinking tea.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I was actually the only one drinking alcohol.
Okay.
So, games athlete, level 1 seminar staff. I said it right.
You
Adventurer.
did.
All right.
Good job.
And then you like rock climbing. You were once a vegan.
Vegetarian, but
Or vegetarian?
You know, close enough. They're all crazy.
I get them mixed up.
As you should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I get corrected all the time on a lot of different things.
It's okay.
Wait, you're not allowed to be wrong?
I am wrong
Okay.
a lot, but not for the things that people pay me to be right about.
Fair enough.
But I'm
That's all
wrong
that
about
matters.
everything else, just
Yeah.
about. All right, Pat, you've been in the games a couple times.
Yep.
What years did you go?
2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, and then the last 2 years I've missed out.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking A, man.
I'm just.
Yeah, I like hearing everyone's stories that, you know, sometimes we run into people that, I've been every year. But when people miss a year or something like that, I like to hear those stories because it gets really interesting.
when they come back.
When they come back.
Yeah, I haven't done that
Or
yet. So.
we'll just
Let us know how it feels.
I just want to know what the struggle's like. You know, are you still like going for the games, things like that? And then, all right, so I didn't want to leave out Chris here.
It's all good.
So your background is soccer and exercise phys, right?
Yeah, I played soccer, dabbled in the pros a little bit, and then strength and conditioning, just like you guys.
So that MLS, Major League Soccer, or
Yeah, back
Oh,
when it wasn't
sweet.
very good.
back when it was like Arena Football League status?
Exactly. Fighting for a $20,000 contract.
Wait, it's not still?
It's getting
well, I
better,
think
but it's
hasn't
still
improved.
absolutely, yeah. Especially even like the Timbers, they're actually fun to watch. I would never watch it when I was playing. Yeah, I'd be watching the Europeans.
Oh shit.
I've never watched MLS.
So have you ever played with Beckham? Just gotta know.
No.
Okay. Just
I did see him at the
curious.
games, though.
Just curious. You did.
Did you see him with his shirt off?
That's
No.
an important question.
No. Oh well.
Which hairstyle did you have?
I'm not too good with that stuff. I couldn't even tell you. Like Pat's.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
I was
Just like that.
I was waiting for that one to
That's
come.
not the beard.
Can't do that.
All right, Pat. You haven't been in the games in a couple years.
Yeah.
You're making another run at it. I'm guessing.
Always.
Always. Never gonna give up because you're a young guy.
I'm ancient. I got a foot in the grave, my
So
friend.
are you already like planning for Masters division? I mean, I hear people sometimes
Yeah.
like, oh man, I'm going for Masters.
Yeah, that's my
what age is
favorite.
that?
Well, how old are you now?
I'm 28. So, yeah.
So old.
Just 1 foot in the grave.
Jeez.
I'm almost 2 feet now, actually.
If he's 2 feet in the grave, what does that make us?
You're already dead.
I'm ancient, man.
Yeah. You're already dead.
When did you start training? Like,
Uh,
seriously, for some specific outcome. What was the age? Back in high school?
No, actually, so in my senior year of high school was the first time I got exposed to any training, and I've actually only ever done CrossFit. So I started in CrossFit. I never had a traditional strength and training background.
So you never had shit you had to unlearn
No.
to a high degree. Like we were always burdened with it's high school, it's time to start training football or something. Actually, back in middle school, so you do bodybuilding, Flex Magazine. And then you'll never catch a rack, or you'll never rack a bar in the right position again the rest of your fucking life.
Right.
That's what I found.
Is that how it works?
You guys know who his teacher was, how he got into CrossFit?
No.
Tony Budding.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
Oh,
okay.
and Nicole Carroll, they were both my old high school teachers way back in the day. So
Whoa.
long story, they basically they were high school teachers, very different people. Wanted to learn how to do a clean and jerk. Typed in clean and jerk in Santa Cruz, California, where I'm from, and CrossFit Santa Cruz popped up. Went in there to try to figure out, and these details maybe as I remember them, not as exact details,
Right.
but
That's all memories,
If we
man.
talk to Tony, he'll be
whatever.
like, that's not
Tony's
what
like,
happened.
Go the Gonzo version of
this
your
guy's an
memories.
idiot.
I busted the fucking door, and then the lights were on, and fucking white doves.
Yeah. So Tony busts through the fucking door and comes over to CrossFit and is like, hey, I want to learn how to clean and jerk. And he's like, well, we do CrossFit. And he's like, I don't want to learn how to do CrossFit. I want to learn how to clean and jerk. And eventually like, fine, but go ahead and come on board and do this CrossFit stuff. And I think he was working with Jason Highbarger, one of the original athletes out there. Started to get into it and really saw the potential behind what CrossFit was, and brought it back to the high school, and we started training and doing that stuff for volleyball, and just kind of I got in on the surface level there, went off to college, came back, started doing a little bit more full time, and then got fully wrapped up in it after that.
What year did you get fully wrapped up?
Fully wrapped up was more like 2006. 2006, 2007 was when I got hired by the company and started doing it more full time, which actually made me train all the time.
Did you do the 07 games? Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't. I actually didn't know they existed. I was taking a hiatus. My old training methodology was train 2 weeks as hard as you can, throwing up every day, and then don't train for 6 months. That was kind of like, that was.
I know some people that do that.
Do you? Like that? That was my style, man. And
Sounds
I was
like how I diet. Really.
I was.
I hit hard. I go, fuck this shit.
Yeah, well, it's not very sustainable when you hit it that hard for 2 weeks. It's
Nothing
the same thing
is.
as that.
Yeah, nothing is.
So that was my initial kind of intro into it, and then one day I quit my job working room service for a local resort, and then drove by, and Tony was working out, and Tony was like, hey, do you know how to edit video? And I was like, no idea, but I can learn. And he sat me in front of a computer and was like, edit this video. Spent 9 hours editing a 15-second clip, and
Obsessing over every detail.
Too bad you didn't have the iPhone 5.
Yeah,
You could've just done it
and
right
cut.
there.
Well, yeah, but video editing's come a long way since that year. Fuck, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, he sat me down on Final Cut Express, so it wasn't that bad. No, Final Cut Express, yeah.
Mhm.
And just kind of went from there, brought on board, and started filming seminars, started going to all the different places, learning from some of the best coaches in the world, and
Just jumped right in.
just jumped right in. It was really cool. Like, I got a very unique experience, and then from there, because I worked for the company, I kind of had to train a little bit more than 2 weeks at a time. That kind of stuff started happening, and then
They required you to work out regularly.
yeah, they were like, you should probably do this stuff, and I was like, fine, I'll do it.
Were you
know?
like a fat guy, or were you just...
No, I was just a small guy. I weighed like a $150.
Okay.
And never lifted a thing in my life. Loved pull-up workouts.
Of course
Right.
you did.
Hated running. Couldn't overhead squat to save my life. Like, why do my hands always go numb? It's because you suck. Yeah, okay, all right. But that was kind of my background in that, and kind of went from there.
Very
And then
cool.
Find myself here somehow.
What about
in
you, Sheree?
Tennessee.
How'd I find CrossFit?
How'd you find CrossFit? Yeah.
I found CrossFit through my husband. He found it at the firehouse. He was looking for something so he could be better. He was tired of always huffing and puffing when all of his firehouse drills. And he's like, hey, I found this thing. You want to go try it? And I was like, sure. What is it? And he's like, let's look it up. So we looked at CrossFit.com. He's like, 30 muscle ups for time. Let's go try that.
Oh,
I was like,
that was your
cool.
first workout?
Yeah, it was our first workout. And I was like, I was always up for kind of anything.
But you guys were
generally
climbers.
We were
at this
climbers.
point,
So
so you might be able to do it.
well, I was pretty on the pulse of with how many pull-ups I could do, because that's like the quintessential exercise of a climber, right?
Right.
So I knew that I had 5 pull-ups in me. right? And I had to do 120. That's how many you have to do for 30 muscle-ups per time. So I was like, okay, if I could just do 5 at a time for 3 hours, right? I'll be able to get through this workout. So we went to the local 24-hour fitness, and literally I did 120 pull-ups and 120 dips, and it took me almost an hour, and I degloved both of my hands.
Degloved.
Yeah, both of them. And Matt too, he
I
clearly
never heard that term, but all the skin off your hands.
Yeah, that is what that means.
That's
yes.
a bad term.
And
were you kipping at all, or was this like?
oh, I don't know what that means at this point, right? It's one of those pull-up
I mean,
bars.
but were you
that are
were you like jerking around like on the bar? Like
Nice kipping technique you just showed.
Seizing.
I did
seizing
look,
on the bar.
I did
Convulsing.
look as though I had a seizure. Yes, for sure I did. And Matt clearly finished it before I did. And then we got done and we looked at each other and we were like, "What's tomorrow?"
That was really your story?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Or you went, what comes tomorrow that
Most
I don't
people
have to
would
use
have
my
been
hands
like, "No, fuck this, I'm out."
I'm degloved.
Yeah.
No way.
No, the next day was a clean, and that was so foreign to me. I was like, "You mean you want me to do what?" And I would just do these like curls, and Matt would look at me from the side, and he's like, "No, you're doing it wrong." He's like, "This is what they do," and he'd do a beautiful clean. He'd never
really?
done one in his life. How did he
so
get
he
a
was
beautiful?
a natural.
He's
Yeah,
Asian. No, he's Asian.
That's totally why.
It's built into his
That's
DNA.
totally why.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I don't know what you're doing. You're doing this, right? Yeah, that was day 2.
I can't believe your elbows worked.
Yeah.
No shit.
And
Yep.
cleans degloved.
Yeah.
Ooh.
How did that feel?
I've seen some
Yeah, you
pictures
know.
lately on Instagram of people like being shredded hands, like way more than anything.
like a point of pride almost.
I'm about to make everyone hate me.
No.
Well, go ahead. They
I've
already
only
hate
torn
you.
my hands one time in one workout ever.
I don't tear
I don't
my
know.
hands often.
Yeah.
I don't tear them that
don't either.
often.
Is that
Yeah.
record-
Maybe it's just because I'm a pussy. It's like I like just stopped working out. I was like, man, this hurts my hands.
Let me
I'm
stop
done.
this.
Wad over.
I mean, that's part of it, though, is like when you train at a higher volume of pull-ups and things like that, part of the smart thing to do is like, yeah, you could probably do another pull-up, or you could jump off, shake out your hands a little bit, jump
Yeah.
up, hit another
No.
set, and then train for the rest of the week.
Take
Right.
care of your hands.
You know, it's
Exactly.
like,
That's a better strategy for making progress.
right. But, I mean, there is something, that rite of passage of like, wow, I went so hard that I physically tore open my hands doing a workout. Like, that's messed up. But at the same time, it's like, well, you know what? It's a rite of passage. You did it. You made that mistake. Now you can
Yeah.
learn from that. You can trim those hands down and kind of go from there.
I was just an idiot. Like I was like, this is the workout. Like I have to finish it. Like
Right.
there was no not finishing it. I didn't understand that
Just
concept.
say Matt made me
I
do
think that's
it.
a good thing though. Like a lot, if you're new to it and you don't know that you're not supposed to be able to finish
Right,
it,
yeah.
I mean that's
Right.
probably what made you a great athlete. And
Yeah.
you know, in the first place, it's like there's no off switch.
This is the task.
Yeah,
How
you
do
just
I
have to do
finish
it.
it?
That's
Yeah.
impressive. I just stopped. Like I was at the original headquarters, and I'd be midway through a workout and be like, guys, this is way too hard. like we're not doing pull-ups anymore, so I'm done. Like
that makes me feel better.
you know it. Back in the day, it's like finishing like, how many are you supposed to do? 21? Probably gonna do it 18. Probably gonna do 18. Here we go. Moving on to the next part.
We'll get the rest of them next time.
We'll get shit. We'll do it in the next round. Not gonna do it this round. Get it tomorrow.
Yeah, I remember like when I was new to instructing, like and running CrossFit classes. You know, all right, we're gonna do 21 of these, and then the numbers. You know those things.
Yeah,
numbers.
they're not important when
Yeah.
it comes to actually understanding.
But
training.
there'd be people. I just was not instructing well
Yeah.
because they'd hit failure and they would just move on to the next movement. I go, that guy did not do 20 of those. What is he thinking? But then the next person was like, man, I suck at telling people what to do, and then figured it out after a while.
Yeah,
But that's all part of the magic.
1 or 2 learning process.
Nick, what brought you into CrossFit?
Man, shoulder injury. Yeah, I had a chiropractor friend, and he was checking out my shoulder for an injury. You know, the old bench press stuff, doing too much of it.
Course,
Yeah, right.
AC joint shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Anterior
Gotta get
shoulder
those
pain,
pecs up.
bicep
And,
tendonitis.
Yeah. And so he's like, hey, come try this stuff out, CrossFit, and I'm like, I'll check it out tonight online. I went on there, Googled it. I came back a couple days later for another session with him, and I said, no, that shit's stupid, man. I'm not going to do that. Like,
Seems like a cult.
Yeah, a 12-minute workout. Come on, I'm in the gym for an hour and a half, right? That's what you have to do. And he's like, no, come on in with me. And we went into this little gym with some dumbbells and stuff, and we did Helen. And we ran on the treadmill, quarter
Dude, that's
mile.
one of my favorite workouts.
Yeah,
actually.
I love it.
that workout.
I love it now.
Yeah.
Then quarter mile sprint on a treadmill set on a speed where you can't adjust it.
Oh, nice.
There's no escape.
Yeah, right. And then grabbing a dumbbell and swinging a dumbbell, and then doing strict pull-ups on the lat pull-down machine, bottom pinned because there wasn't a pull-up bar.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're doing strict pull-ups on that, and Yeah,
You put so much weight on it, you can't move it, and you just come up on it.
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
You just swinging all around on that thing.
No, I let's see. I broke them up a lot towards the end, so it was like maybe 3 pull-ups at a time. I couldn't kip
That's
that.
pretty resourceful, man.
I come from. We were talking earlier. I was a Marine Corps background, and if you kipped, you're the devil. So,
Yeah.
strict pull-ups only. So.
That reminds me one time in a Globo gym, I was doing speed benching, like in high school. Like, I heard this guy Louis does speed benching. I'm gonna do that. And I had like 5 guys come to me. You totally fucking cheating, bro. You're supposed to slow it down.
You're cheating.
Awesome.
I was like, well, okay, well,
You're not breathing right.
like, I'm not cheating because this guy says fast is good. I still didn't know the reason. I didn't know any reasons at that point. When you're in high school.
I like hearing people's like stories like that weren't introduced by like a proper CrossFit gym.
Oh,
it's like, well, I found this website. That's how it was for me.
Right.
It's like I found this website and I couldn't do it in my gym, so we had to get some equipment with a credit card and do it in a carport. And I landed on my head doing handstand push-ups on concrete. So it's like I like hearing those stories. It's just super fun because people don't know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
And
I
they
didn't
just-
understand.
But they like,
intensity.
figure it
but
out
for
soon
some reason you want to do it because it's so different from. I mean, if you were getting your workouts from like bodybuilding.com or something, and then it's all the same shit over and over again with different rep schemes essentially, and then you come across this thing that says handstand push-ups and deadlifts as fast, like 21 deadlifts. Why would you do 21? Like
That's countercultural.
you're supposed to do
the gym.
8 and then rest.
That's
and
what
then
I
do
did.
8 again.
That's what I did with Fran my first time. I think I did sets of 7 thrusters, and I set the bar down. And it was at a Globo gym, and I sat down on the bench, and I stared at the bar, went back, did 7 more thrusters. So I think my first Fran time was, I want to say around 17 and a half minutes.
That's awesome.
Strict pull-ups.
It's about my time, but I was trying the whole time.
Somebody was telling me a story the other day. They did the first time they saw a friend, it said 3 rounds for time, 21, 15, 9.
Oh.
So they
did
did that 3
Oh,
times. They did
man.
Fran 3 times. I can't remember
walk
who it
for a while
was
after that.
now.
Must be the
Who
OC
told me that.
throwdown
I was
guy.
like,
yeah,
holy
just
shit.
did that at the OC Throwdown. Yeah.
I've seen a few people do 3 Frans for time before, back to back to back. That is a scary sight when you see that happen.
I saw a guy do it all sub 3s, and this was
Wow.
years ago.
What?
This is all
Fuck, man. There's so many
Matt Baird.
ridiculously gangster people out
I
there.
know Matt Baird.
Matt Baird did. He was in my gym. He came in. He did Fran, rested 20 minutes. Fran, rested 20
see,
minutes.
there's the difference. He rested
Fran.
the 20 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Fran,
Back to
start
back to
over.
back.
No.
Start over.
Wow.
No, but he was able to hold sub 3s. I thought that was pretty.
Yeah.
This was a couple
It
years
is.
ago. I was like, before people were like
Yeah. That's
doing
real.
sub 2s.
Yeah.
Well, how many people are doing that now?
Not very many. I
Not
don't
many.
think any that maybe are legit even, are they?
I got a sub 2 friend.
Do you? What is it?
She's like, it ain't legit, bro.
What's your time there, Patrick?
158, but it's like
Wow.
it's a workout that I'm a short guy. And pull-ups are easy, and 95 pounds is light. So it's not. I mean, that's not.
Let us
really
enjoy
comparable.
that. Like, you don't have to be upset about it. Like, that's awesome. 15 to 8.
I'll take it.
It's amazing.
I'll take it.
Good job.
It was cool. It was a
Fastest
classic
one I've
event.
ever heard of. That's
Making
legit.
excuses
Oh my
why
God.
it's not impressive.
Yeah, right? That's what I mean. Yeah,
not impressive.
It's totally
Whatever.
impressive.
He goes, well, it comes easy to me.
Right.
Come
Yeah, that's easy. Lightweight.
Dude, my first Fran was the first time I think I really did CrossFit. Like, I mean, I had done CrossFit for a while, but all the workouts were like Barbara and Angie and stuff I was good at. But the first time I had that feeling of like, oh my God, what's happening to my body was during Fran. Like, Tony Budding made me do Fran, and I remember I did 21 thrusters, and I tell this story often, but I did 21 thrusters, and then I jumped on over to the bar, and 95 pounds was pretty heavy at the time, so I had to put out in order to get those 21 thrusters. Jumped up on the bar, 21 pull-ups, no problem. Of course, those were my thing.
Crush.
Drop on back to the bar, picked it up, did 1 thruster, and my eyes just like exploded, and I was like, and I like put the bar down, and I looked at him. I'm
Holy
like,
shit.
Tony, there's something wrong. And like I like said those words, and I sat down and I like just stared off in the distance. I was like, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with me. I can't breathe. I don't know what's going on. Like, and I just started panicking, like, just because I had never felt this kind of like supreme amount of suck before. I've never felt that in any of the other things I did, because I cheated most of the other stuff I did. So like when I hit this point, this threshold of like, you have to pick the weight up and you have to do this thing.
There's
It's
nowhere
like,
to hide. You
there's
can't
nowhere to
hide in your
hide.
rest intervals.
Oh
You know,
my
you
God.
can't
In a
just take it-
thruster,
yeah.
bars in your throat, you can't breathe, and you're like, this is terrible. And I sat down, I was like, Tony, I'm done. I can't do this. And he's like, if you don't pick that bar up and finish this workout, I'm never going to coach you again. So I sat down and I sat there for like 2 minutes and I was like, okay. And I stand back up and
Do
just
I
like,
tell this guy to fuck himself? Or
do I take another 7-month hiatus? I just got hired by this company. You know, it was like
my 2 weeks are up now. I did hit it hard for 2 weeks.
yeah. So finally picked it up and kind of finished the workout. But that was my first like true. Okay, I'm in.
Would you say that's your moment of awareness? Where you realize, oh, I see the kind of things you have to do to bring out the next level of yourself. Like all of a sudden your eyes are wide up. Holy fuck, what is that?
Oh yeah. Like I mean, that's it's a different place, and like
That's what no one ever feels in a Globo gym.
well, it's that humility. Like nobody can go through that to that point, and then walk away like an asshole. Like you just got your ass handed to you by a piece of steel and yourself. Like
You were exposed.
you were completely exposed. You're so vulnerable. Someone could have walked up, like a baby could have walked up and knocked me out. Like it's like you're so exactly. You're so vulnerable in that moment that it's like you can't walk away from that and like try to be a dick. Like if you truly push yourself to those limits and take yourself to those places, that's the humility of what this is. That's why people bond so hard over this stuff.
Yeah, there's those moments when you realize what you don't know, like in the educational sense, you go, I got a lot to learn. I guess there's those moments you realize there's so much I cannot fucking do. I got that way with powerlifting, where I was so good at certain things. Like I could do a 700-pound good morning, which is way up on the level of good in that.
Me too.
But I can't do a fucking overhead squat. I quit running away. I quit just like hiding in the things I was super good at. I realized, wow, like now one of my favorite things to do is handstand holds. So I realized it's such a liberating, fresh experience. Like, wow, I go from being fucking outrageously terrible to being able to hold this position or overhead squat or getting better slowly with like snatch or rack position. Yeah. It's like going back and it's a whole new cycle of renewal and discovery.
Oh yeah.
Fuck, I leave the stuff I'm good at home.
Chris doing handstands was fantastic. Carl Powley got him in a handstand.
He put those hands around me.
I think like
Magic hands, man.
Magic
Magic hands.
I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks prior to us going to San Francisco. You had posted somewhere
a podcast, and somebody pointed out that I had said boldly, I will never fucking do a handstand.
like this is like 2 or 3 weeks prior to him doing it.
Yeah, then everything changed with that.
Well, he said, why would I be on my hands if I have 2 good feet or something like
Some
that?
dumb statement, we're all. But I can look back and say it was a dumb statement. I don't have to be limited by like my moment of awareness came. I can do other things, not just deadlift, squat, bench.
But I was convinced
especially the
he was
fucking
never,
bench. Fuck benching, right, man?
Yeah.
My shoulders have never felt better.
I didn't believe that Chris would ever get into a handstand. If you would have said to me a couple years ago, like Chris will be in a handstand,
And I've done
been
3
like,
straight
no
handstand push-ups
way.
at that 285 or so.
But Carl is such a good instructor. He was able to build his confidence in a very short period of time and get him in a handstand.
You could have got my pants.
It was magical. I had
He was
I had
right there.
goosebumps, man. I had chills running down my back. It was
That's
crazy.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's all good coaches, realizing you don't think you can do something, I think you can. And then
Right,
you start believing, and then the coaching job is done. Then he's got to keep the momentum going, right?
Oh yeah.
He did that with me.
All right, Chris, we didn't get how you discovered. I want to ask all the level 1 seminar staff, like how they found CrossFit, just because I find it fascinating that you would, people start from this point where they just have nothing and just have that first moment of suck, and now you guys are teaching other people. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I actually have the cliche story. Like I dabbled in what I thought was CrossFit, and we had a coach from Invictus come up to our gym. I just opened up my own space, and she comes over and she's like, "I want you guys to do Fran." So me and this other trainer line up, and of course I took my Eno Extreme because I had to get my vasodilation on.
Pump on, yeah.
And so I took
That's
that, and I'm
scary.
like, it's only 45 thrusters and 45 pull-ups. This isn't going to be that bad.
It always seems easy, doesn't it? Like,
And
fuck,
dude, I
why
remember.
wait?
Yeah.
I remember finishing and like walking off to her, and like she's trying to congratulate me, and all it is a Charlie Brown teacher. Want, and I'm walking outside, tunnel vision, and laid out. I couldn't even train my client an hour later. Like, I'm sorry, Tom, I really want to train you, but I can't move.
I'm fucked.
Yeah, and like that, it was like how all this training I've been doing for year after year after year. How can I get punished so bad by something that took 3.5 minutes? I couldn't even believe it.
You did your first Fran in 3.5 minutes?
3:41. Yeah,
Are you serious?
that was,
You're a dick.
That is phenomenal.
that was back when I used to train before I started coaching. So
Wow.
Wow.
Hang on.
Plug the laptop in so we don't lose anything. Bingo, bango.
Bongo.
Can I get it? Yeah.
Boom.
You ever played Bingo Bango Bongo in golf?
What? I don't know what that is. What is that?
It's a golf game. It's like you first closest to the pin once everyone's on the green gets a buck. First on the green gets a buck, and first to one putt gets a buck. And at the end of the game, you total it all up. Who hits the most of those, and you pay out.
If you can slip drinking in there, that sounds like a really fun game.
Yeah, just take shots.
Shots instead of
Yeah.
Drunken
$7.
bingo bango.
So what happened from there though on the?
I was hooked after. I mean, I ended up like throwing up like 5 or 6 times.
Oh, that's where you said you couldn't train your client.
I could not train. It was literally an hour later. I'm like, I'm sorry, Tom. I really want to train you, but I can't move. I was laid out on the concrete for a while.
So I almost lost it at I had been doing CrossFit for probably like maybe less than 6 months on my own, and I went to San Diego to get my cert in the beginning of 2008. And I went out and saw some of my Navy buddies the night before.
Oh man,
Good call on that one.
It was a late night, and I was like, because I had done some other certifications drunk, and I was fine.
Easy peasy, right?
I was fine, but not CrossFit. So we're gonna do Fran, and I had no idea we were gonna do Fran. But I
know of one you did drunk. USAW you did drunk.
I did that one.
Yeah.
Don't tell people. I have that piece of paper.
They all know now.
Yeah, nobody knows.
I was in college. What's the matter?
Yeah.
Everyone's drunk in college all the time. All right, so yeah, I did Fran. I had a pretty good time. I was like, if you're at a level 1 seminar, like
You push.
you do not want to look like a pussy. Like that's the last thing, and you want to impress the instructors. Like the guys that I saw on the journal and stuff like that were there, and I was like, oh man, I know their faces. So you want to impress them. So I went all out
here.
I had I didn't have my best time. It was like high 3s.
Damn.
But I'm in San Diego. I think it was CrossFit San Diego. I don't know. It was back then.
Yeah,
it must have been.
It was the only one.
I remember stumbling back to the bathroom and grabbing the sink, and all of a sudden my vision got real narrow. I go, holy shit!
Here we go.
I'm about to pass out in the bathroom here. Oh my god, I'm gonna be so embarrassed. This is gonna be the most embarrassing point in my life because someone's gonna walk and be like, Bledsoe is passed out in the bathroom. And there were a couple of Navy guys there that knew me that would have been definitely identified my body. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. Getting the narrowing of the vision and going like that hard. That was the first time I had gone that hard. I'd been going hard and competing against my buddies in Memphis, but like going in front of like other people and people are counting your reps and saying no rep.
Yeah, in that
yay
environment,
rep.
everybody's watching.
Oh my god, it was
excited.
crazy.
It's intense, man.
Who were your trainers at your level 1? Come on.
Castro was there.
Who's that? No, I'm kidding. I love Castro. Castro's a great buddy of mine.
And can't remember anyone's name.
Well, you remembered his. That's the important one.
I remember him for a reason.
Those no reps we were talking about.
I think-
Gotcha.
I want to say Spieler was there.
Okay.
I might be wrong about that. I feel like he was.
What year did you do that?
2008.
Yeah, I did mine in San Diego. Same one,
Yeah.
2008, like around August.
Do you remember if that was the same one that Jason did his? Jason was in right around 2008.
I have no idea.
So was Miranda and Tyson.
See, that's the thing is I had my head down the whole time with a hangover. So like I didn't.
I've met many a drunk at these. So
Yeah.
I was wondering if maybe it was you.
It could
Because I was probably there.
It could have been.
Now that you point out, do
Yeah,
you remember a furry
we might have been
drunk guy?
hanging out. I don't know. Could've
I
been.
wasn't furry at the time. I was very
No,
clean
he
shaven.
might have been furry.
Oh.
He might have been a furry drunk guy.
I wasn't
Okay.
furry then.
Oh.
I was clean shaven.
Yeah. We both look like crap then.
Yeah, we
You're
both
telling me.
look like
Gotcha.
kids.
Yeah, children.
Yeah, I shaved my beard earlier this year on basically a bet,
Oh god, that was horrible.
and people
They angry.
they hated me.
yeah.
You got the same thing?
Yeah,
you
my-
shaved, and people are like, "Don't ever shave your beard again,
That,
Pat."
yeah,
You fucking asshole.
What I get is you got a face that people want to punch. That's what my wife says. It's like
Oh,
a
wow.
face that people want to punch, and I'm like, thanks, hun. Like I love you too. So like she doesn't let me not grow facial hair. I mean, this is extreme, but like I can't clean shave.
And my wife, I shaved my beard like 2 years ago once, and I shaved it. Didn't tell her. I'm in the shower. She peeks in the shower and
freaks
bursts into laughter.
That's a good.
That
Not
wasn't,
what you
that
wanna
wasn't in
see.
your beard.
Yeah.
I trimmed the underbeard as well. That was what was so comical. She saw the real size.
Is that what it looks like? Oh my
manscaping.
god.
You never want to hear laughter. You never want to hear, oh,
No.
look at it.
Yeah, she burst into laughter, and immediately I was like, I have done something wrong.
Done something wrong.
And then people berated me for shaving it, and then I did it again, 6 months ago, and people on Instagram hated me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just terrible.
no compassion.
No.
I'm actually trying to grow my first legit one. I'm in the very early stages. You're going to give me the beard paste and grooming tips, right?
Yes, actually, I'm gonna give you a can
Yeah.
before
What?
we leave. I got some beard balm.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Have you seen?
I'm gonna be selling some beard balm. I'm partnering with some guys.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Legit. Have you
Yeah.
seen the Beards and Barbells guys?
Yeah.
I think they got some beard balm stuff coming.
Do
through
they?
too. They were partnering with someone else.
I should probably talk to them.
Yeah.
I don't want to compete with people.
Nah, don't compete. just get on board. I think.
Yeah, I think we should team up.
Do it.
That's the way to go.
Might as well.
All right, let's take a break real quick. When we come back, we're going to talk about how you can get on level 1 seminar staff.
Yeah, I'll give you the secrets.
Welcome back to Technique Quad. Today's video is a part of a series of videos we're doing on the snatch technique. Specifically, this video is about the triple extension phase of the second pull. My name is Doug Larson. This is Alex Macklin. Alex is one of our faction and barbell shrug weightlifting coaches. Like I said, today's video is all about the second pull. We've already done start position on a separate video, the first pull, and the transition, which is kind of the first part of the second pull. Again, today is all about the triple extension phase of the second pull. If we break the lift down, again, we've covered each phase in other videos, so go ahead and get into a good start position and then slowly start going through your first pull. So here Alex is in a solid start position. As it comes off the ground, that's his first pull. Once he starts pushing his knees under the bar, that's the transition. And then right here, he's pausing. He's in the power position right now, and this is basically the start of the triple extension. So from here, you can see where Alex has good technique. His shoulders are back. He's not rolling his shoulders forward. Go and roll your shoulders forward. Yeah, like that. There you go. So he's not shoulder forward like this. His shoulders are back together. His arms are straight. Go ahead and bend your elbows a little bit. Okay, his arms aren't bent like that. Some people do that, but when you're first learning, you shouldn't try to start like that. So arms are locked out straight. The bar is hitting him right at the crease of his hip. He's not hitting upper thigh, especially on the snatch. So go ahead and hit a little bit low. Yeah, so he's not hitting low like that. He's hitting right where his hip bends in the crease of his hip. Okay? If you come to the front, okay, see his knees are pretty much over his toes. They're not diving in too much. Go ahead and make them horribly dive in. Okay, they're not diving in like that, so push your knees out as far as you can. Make that diamond shape. Some people will even exaggerate that a little bit, and they'll be more like this, where they'll have a little bit of a diamond where their knees are pushed out even further than their toes. They'll be here and then here when they're in that full power position. His heels are on the ground. As he went through the transition, go ahead and do a bad transition where your heels come off the ground. As he passes his knees and he pushes his knees under the bar, a lot of people will bring their heels off the ground like that. Okay, you don't want to be there. You want to be very heel heavy. There you go, perfect. So now go ahead and do it right. As he goes through his first pull, he wants to rock towards his heels. And when he pushes his knees under the bar, he wants to be putting all of his weight back onto his heels. That way, when he gets in the power position, he's very heel heavy. He could probably even wiggle his toes off the ground if he wanted to. There you go. So that's a good spot. Now that his weight is over his heels, the bar should be coming into him through that first pull and that transition. That way, when he goes to extend and catch the bar overhead, the bar is coming from here back over where he's going to catch, and he's not having to get out in front and jump forward to get under the weight. Okay, so go ahead and do one more full movement. And I want you to watch how Alex, as he goes through the whole movement, he's getting the weight back onto his heels. And if Chris can come to the side, I want you to look right. I want you to look right at the end of the bar here and see how as he comes off the floor, the bar comes into him. And then right when he gets to his hip, that's when the bar is going to be the most back. It's going to come into him the whole time. Then when he gets to here, since he's so heel heavy and the bars come back into him, it'll continue to come back even a little bit more. If I use a vertical reference line like this, you can see how the bar will come back into him a little bit. There you go, just like that. If he does it again and he does it wrong and he's toe heavy, then the bar won't come back quite as much if he stays on his toes. There you go. So you see the bar didn't move back quite as much. When that happens, people tend to miss the lift out in front of them. Now that's how to get into a perfect power position. Once you get there and you've done a perfect first pull and a perfect transition, nice and slow, setting up that second pull, once you get into a good spot then in your power position, that's when it's time to explode and just pull the bar as hard as you freaking can and pull it overhead. So I want you to go nice and slow, exaggerate a little bit through your first pull and your transition, and then explode on the second pull, almost like it's two separate sections, just to exaggerate at that point. So he's slow here, slow here, slow here. Once he gets to his second pull, that's when he's going to explode and pull the bar as hard as you freaking can. Pull the bar as hard as you freaking can. Pull the bar as hard as you freaking can. Pull the bar as hard as you freaking can. So you can be slow here, slow here, slow here, and then fast. There you go. So you can see the first pull and the transition are really just setting up the explosive part, which is the second pull. And if you end up in a position that gives you good leverage, then the second pull won't feel as heavy as it would if you were out of position. For the catch and the recovery on the second pull, once I get to the power position and then I get that full triple extension and I'm here, my shoulders are down, my arms are straight, and I pretty much lifted the weight as high as it's gonna go, I'm gonna keep pulling on the bar, but at that point, all my shrug and my arm action is gonna be pulling myself under the weight, and we're gonna cover that in a separate video, which is gonna focus on the catch and the recovery phase of the lift. All right, for more Technique WOD videos, you can go to barbellshrug.com and click on the Technique WOD tab at the top of the page.
Or you can buy that shirt.
Came from that CSA, whatever. And we're back. Talking with level 1 seminar staff.
You're learning, man. You're doing good.
Dude, I'm doing so
I
good.
gave you that one mental cue and you got it.
Yeah, if people seminar. Oh no. Are you gonna get fired now? Something's gonna happen.
No, it was just like an audio cue for you to remember it.
Oh yeah, it worked. I do want to get back to. I want to ask you guys, how does someone become a level 1 staff? How's that work? What's the process going? You got to go through like coaches prep course and an intern for a period. Do you guys not want to talk about this, or is this like a very
There was like
super
complete silence.
Yeah,
from
It's
right.
like
all
there's
four
a
of
super
us.
selective
God.
process,
Yeah.
and
What?
it's like, well, are you afraid like a bunch of people are gonna start
There's a
applying?
secret recipe.
There's definitely been
hidden.
It's different.
yeah, it's culminated a
Different,
lot.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
newer.
Yeah, we all
yeah.
kind of were quiet for a second there because we all had different processes in.
It's going through changes.
He's probably the newest, so he could tell you kind of more how it pans out currently.
Yeah, now I mean, I've been on a little over a year, about a year and 3 months, and I guess you can apply. They put something out on Facebook or something like that you can apply for it, and so then you get accepted to the internship process. I was lucky enough. Dave Castro came up to CrossFit Temecula one day, and we just got to talking, and then he asked if I wanted to come in and intern, and but I know other individuals who did the application process, and then you go on there, and your first one you're just kind of getting they show you the ropes and you help out here and there, but then the second one, it's not like a gradual, like here's the first one and then the second one's like, okay, here we go for it, and
Throw you in, huh?
and I mean, I like the way they explained it to me in the email. It's not a learning experience for you. It's a job interview. Like, you need to know the stuff coming in already, and if you don't, it's not a knock on you. It's just like, hey, go back, refine your skills, and then maybe try again in the future. And
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's a hefty process though. The people who make the final cuts and the people who do all this stuff they're serious people, and they there's a lot of factors that go into actually making it on the staff. And if you make it on these days, you're a rock star.
Does that include me a year and 3 months ago?
No,
I'm
I mean,
kidding.
not
I'm
only
kidding.
not when he got on like about a year. No, just nowadays. It's like you. There's a lot of people who want to do this job. It's a spectacular job dealing with amazing people. Like you're teaching something you're passionate about to a bunch of people who are passionate about it as well. And we can, like, day in and day out, even though it's the similar stuff that you're teaching, everybody's different. So it's never a boring job, and you're traveling and you're meeting people, and it's a phenomenal thing to even think that you get paid for.
Right.
And so it's a very highly coveted job by a lot of people who want to kind of come on board and do it. But you got to know your stuff. And not only do you have to know your stuff, you have to be able to apply that stuff in a specific style of setting. So if you make it on staff nowadays, it's like you've really shown that you are not only like an amazing coach, but B, you can apply that knowledge, and C, like, you're just an awesome person, because the biggest thing is that you fit with the group and stuff. If you don't fit with this group, it's all good people, and we're all friends, and we all do this stuff. It's like, I know these guys mainly through seminar stuff, but I would invite these guys to my house any day of the week. Anybody on staff could come and stay in my guest room, and it would not even be a hassle. It wouldn't be one of those things where it's like,
Be like family coming to stay.
Literally, it'd be like
Yeah.
family. It'd be someone you've known for years, and you could have just met them on staff.
It's a special thing because you can tell there's collaboration and it's a tight-knit group. All the teams that show up and do these, I felt that I've done it. I thought it was one of the more higher quality training experiences you could have, because there is the intensity. It's very clear that the quality shows through in the material, because everything just about nothing there is theoretical or abstract. Everything's like, you will leave here knowing how to do all this shit much better. It's very potent and very concise and very to the point and fast paced, and you can feel the quality of it. So whatever the fucking doing, it's working.
Yeah.
There's an interesting feedback loop that CrossFit has sort of taught me as a human being through the process, and everybody that went through the intern process went through it, and you get evaluated on how you're doing, and you get told the truth. Good, bad, or indifferent. You get told the truth. And that speaking of the truth never ends when you work for CrossFit. Yeah. And so as you continue your journey with them, they're constantly just telling you like it is. And to hear that from somebody about your job, like I'm 40 years old. I had a lot of other jobs in my life.
Yeah.
Most have sucked, right?
I've had some good jobs. Like I've been really lucky in my life, but nobody ever told me the truth about what I was doing. Ever in any job I had before this. They never walked up to me and they said, Sheree, this is what you're doing good, this is what you're doing bad.
How often do you get this feedback?
Every seminar.
I was gonna say today.
Every seminar.
Dude, if you could get that type of feedback that frequently for anything in your life, you're going to be spectacular at it. I mean, that's the only way to refine and get better.
If you're open to it, right?
Yeah, you have to be.
But I feel like
I'm sure you wouldn't stick around very long if you weren't very open to it.
Well, you wouldn't have been hired. In the
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to say, yeah.
It takes a special character to hear what you need to work on consistently, but it's one of the reasons that I do it, because I'm constantly being forced to be better, and I love that about it.
Me too.
Sheree's told every one of us today, hey, you need to work on this. And I mean, she's told us, hey, you did this really well, but this is a portion of your skills you need to work on. And so we all take it and we celebrate that. That's really like, yes, like that's what I need to work on. It's cool to know that. Like, awesome. That's what I need to go back and work on and before next weekend. And so you're constantly getting better.
And once you open up to embracing that attitude, then you got nothing to fucking stop you.
Right, exactly.
Then you realize it's a matter of me just keeping this attitude. I'm going to do whatever I want.
And you spoke about the quality, and I mean, that's where it comes from. It comes from open-mindedness and how close we've become.
I immediately see the connection between how the thing is run, constant, honest feedback. And that's what the workout itself is. Like,
right.
You can't. It was just like, you suck at these things, and here's the proof. You're gasping, struggling, convulsing body like a dead fish on the fucking floor. Like after that,
Right.
There's no hiding.
Here's the mirror.
Here's what's going on. No, it's you just can't really hide from that.
Right.
Like, you had a weakness here.
Yeah.
Well, but what if? No, it's you had a weakness.
We measured it. We measured it. In sweat and time.
There's data here.
There's data.
You're lying on the ground.
But people are fucking scared of data sometimes. Raw, honest feedback. They much rather sort of hide in the gray zone.
The nebulous zone.
There's a ton of people like that, but the people that aren't, like, it's really amazing because now take that concept and apply it to anything else in your life other than working out in your job. Apply it to, like, your marriage. Like, imagine, like, being able to, like, accept feedback from people and being able to, like, change every single thing that happens in front of you, whereas before you're powerless because you weren't able to accept what was truly going on. Mm-hmm. It's pretty amazing, really.
Yeah, I think you see a lot of people, coaches, especially like the coaches prep course, where they plan on going there to show you how good they are, and then suddenly they start getting feedback and like, whoa, wait a second, and you realize like, hey, your little bubble in your gym, we're constantly trying to make you better, just like fitness, right? We're constantly trying to push that work capacity curve.
Even if they are really good, you're still going to get feedback that's going to be humbling.
Exactly, and that's hard for people to handle.
Because it's all about getting better. It doesn't matter where you're at.
Right,
it's about you just want to improve from wherever you're at.
You're never going to be done.
Right.
You're never going to be like, yeah, I made it.
Exactly.
I'm all done now. Like, I don't need to learn anything anymore.
I don't need to do anything anymore.
Now I feel like I need to go to another level 1 seminar.
They've changed. They've changed a lot. Like, have you not been in the last little while?
I think the last one, we hosted one at our box maybe a year and a half ago, so I sat through most of that one.
You should retake the whole thing. Like, go back, just like,
you're a good salesman, man. No, fuck it. Go back every year and do it.
No, it's the just like anything, like it's this constant feedback loop. So the seminar has only gotten better and better and better. It's you distill the information, you get these people who can give the information in a more concise way and just make the overall experience better. And it's only gotten better since I've been on staff. Like when I first started filming these seminars, it was 100% different. The information, the core values behind CrossFit were always the same. It's always been the basic same information, the core values, the definition of CrossFit, the definition of fitness. But things have evolved, and now the process with which that's kind of given to everyone is phenomenal. It's like, not that it wasn't before, but it's evolved so much, and it's always open to evolving.
Yeah, I don't hear this happening with any other organization.
Well, this is
and like the sports certification, because I went and got certified in 2008. Or I did the seminar and then I later took the test. But I want to be correct with you guys.
That was good.
That's right. That's right.
But, you know, when I attended, I have many certifications. When I showed up to CrossFit, I was like, this is top notch. This is the best. And that was in 2008. We're in 2014 now. So if it's been refined as much every single time,
Even better.
new people come in with new ideas and it just keeps getting refined and refined and refined. I don't know of like a certification or, you know, a seminar weekend that's going to be able to hold a candle to it.
I think I think it's humble from the top down. So when someone from the seminar from this weekend sends an email and it gets filtered out from the top down, they're like, you know what, that makes sense. Let's make that change. And the email goes out and they're like, hey, we tweaked this a little bit. Let's try it this way. So I think it's humble from the top down. And so I think that carries all the way, and that goes downhill to us too. So.
But that's the core belief behind CrossFit.
Yeah.
It's like we're not set on our methods. We're
Right.
set on what increases
What
work
works.
capacity across broad time and modal domains. We're set on what makes you more fit. We're not set on Fran necessarily, and we're not set on Diane necessarily. We're set on what gets you there.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you show us something that works better, well, hell, we'll take that on. Like that's a core belief behind what we do. And if you apply that to kind of everything in your life, it's like, I'm not set with what I have. I think what I have worked quite well. But if you show me something that's cooler, I'm willing to hear it. Shit, I'll give it a shot. If it works really well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to call it my own. You know?
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
That's just a fundamental belief in our fitness program. And then exactly like she's saying, you apply that to
Respectfully steal whatever you can find that's useful.
Yeah, that's
there
right.
you go. Yeah.
Yep.
call it our own.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to change the subject completely here because I'm extremely curious. I talked to Sherie's husband, Matt, a few months ago, and he had mentioned that y'all had been living in an Airstream. I think y'all were in the
did.
process of getting into a house when I talked to him.
We lived in it for a full year.
So, yeah, if you don't know what Airstream is, just Google it, but you're in a trailer.
We are, but it's not called a trailer for an Airstream. It's a little too, you know.
Those are all kinds of fancy.
Get your terminology right.
If you're gonna do this shit, you better get this
Man,
shit. You better get your facts straight, man.
That's right.
I've been corrected several times today. I'm enjoing it.
But you need to be
You're
open,
being humble.
You need to be open to criticism.
Yeah.
No.
Take this
No.
feedback.
I refuse.
Fuck everybody in the room.
Yes, we did. We lived in a trailer for a year. Yeah.
Dude, you got to see this trailer. There's not a trailer. It's like this is nicer than my damn house I grew up in. Like, are you kidding me?
I saw a
This thing's
picture of the truck
legit.
bed that was like a fucking modular gym unit. Like you just unpack it like
Right.
Go Gadget Gym, wherever you're at.
Was that a pain in the ass?
Well, we do like nice things. No, it wasn't actually. It was kind of fun.
The
fact
pulling the
that
gym out and everything?
Yeah, it was fun. What was a pain in the ass was when places told us, because we'd stay places like 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time, so we'd be able to kind of camp a little bit. The pain in the ass was when people were like, "Hey, don't leave your pull-up bar out at this site." And we're like, "Why?" It's so ridiculous.
Because of the bears.
Yeah, like why?
They're going to get stronger.
And fuck, what do we do then?
They're gonna get stronger.
Fit bears! Jesus Christ.
Right? Exactly. So that was annoying if we had to take it down every day. But if we could leave it there, it was actually really easy. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I was talking to Matt, and he was like, oh, yeah, we've been living in Airstream, moving in a house. And I was like, what? And you guys kept a blog and everything.
We did.
And I somehow missed it, basically
it's because
because
we're really lame at keeping up on it.
I
That's why.
work too much. I don't get to play around other people's blogs too much. That's what I'll claim it is. I work
That's
too
that'd be
hard.
an
love
excuse, yeah.
Yeah, but I want to hear some like what was like what made you guys decide to get into it?
We took a day. Both of us, we own a gym in Denver, Colorado, with some partners, Jolene and Mosco Dinas, and we were lucky enough that we have those partners that we were able to kind of pull away from our gym. But we own a gym and work full time for seminar staff, and when you do that for several years on end, you start to realize that you don't really have a life anymore.
Right.
Like all you do is work.
Mm-hmm.
And we went on a trip one day. We had a 1 day trip down to the South Platte, which is in Colorado, and it's a climbing area. We'd been to a ton when we were dating. And we're heading down there, driving. Takes several hours to get down there. We're hiking up and spend the day climbing, and it's pretty mellow climbing. And on our way back, we're like, what if we could do this every day? And so there's the first wheel turning, right? And like how could we make that? What if we lived in a vehicle that took us to climbing areas, and we could do that every day?
Y'all are like,
And-
you were saying you were calling Pat a hippie earlier. But that's super
Yeah.
hippie.
We totally had that hippie conversation back and forth. Like it just kept snowballing, and like I would say something, and he
People
would
would
say
leave us
something.
alone, man.
Totally.
You gotta say, man, like, whoa.
Totally, like whoa.
What if we grew our hair?
And then they wrote a song about it.
Was
Never
the,
washed
It was
our
the thin air, the altitude, those having all these creative thoughts, couldn't get breath. What if we could just like be free, man?
what if it was like, well, how would that work? And by the time we got back to our house that evening, we had devised an 8-month plan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to buy an Airstream, sell all of our things, work for seminar staff full time. And our very, very first step was calling Dave Castro and Nicole Carroll. We were like, okay, we can't do anything until we call Dave and Nicole, because what if they don't want to hire us full time?
Right. Oh shit, we sold everything.
What if they don't really want us working for them consistently? So that was our very first phone call, was to those two. And as with everything we've ever done, they were 100% supportive. And they're like, awesome. Yeah, cool. Just tell us ahead of time where you're going to be. All good. Thumbs up. And 8 months, almost to the dot, we pulled away from our house.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was inspired. So I came home after talking to Matt that day. I said, wife, we're gonna move into an Airstream.
And then you grunted and pounded your chest.
Right.
No, not,
It took me about a month to convince her. Now Ashley's like full on board. She's
you
like
showed her
looking
pictures of
forward
how cool they are.
Yeah, we
That
started
helped.
shopping, and that was like, she was like, oh my god, these are nice.
Yeah, they're very nice.
But they're small.
Oh, you know what? It was actually pretty fun living in such small quarters. Like, we actually...
Did you get to know each other all over again?
I know that's so unbelievably corny, but we're going on 8 years being married. We met back in 2000, so we've known each other for like 14, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like, if you ever want to, like, rejuvenate your marriage, go live in a trailer for a year. Because, like, there was no part of that whatsoever that was like, get out of my way. This is a tiny little place. Bah! It was so fun because there was nowhere to hide. It was like, here we are in this trailer together.
Huh. Because I hide in my office all the time.
I'm
going to regret this whole thing.
You just just prep by living in your office for about a month before you take off.
But she and the dog have to live with
right,
you in the office.
All three.
You all have to eat in the same spot and shit in the same spot. And,
You have 2 dogs, right?
we do have 2 dogs in both.
2 dogs in the trailer.
Everybody's getting intimate with each other.
Yes.
So,
what do you want to talk about?
There was a lot of intimacy going
So
on.
Rogue did some, I might be wrong, Rogue did some custom work to get a rig type thing in the back of a pickup truck.
Nope. Matt and I bought a bed slide, which is very common in the logging industry, which is pretty much what I think it was for. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was for people who actually work for a living, who need to be pulling out their bed.
I haven't worked for a living in like a decade.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it was a pre-made type of a thing that we found to be able to pull the equipment out, and we did purchase the whole gym from Rogue, though. It was pretty awesome.
Or you just bolt it to a platform and be able to pull that platform on and off, or how does that work? Never mind.
No, bed slide. Pull it out. Pull the barbell out. Put it on the ground. It was that easy.
Huh. I'm going to need visuals.
That's cool.
I'm not very good with words.
I'll draw you a diagram and show you pictures.
You need to,
the irony. Got a bunch of chalkboards.
You need your
That's true.
Yeah.
You need your 8-month plan to go there. I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I do that I... Never mind. I was about to spill a lot of beans.
Well, that's all that's
that I'm really bad at.
The romantic freedom side is great, and everybody's like, I want to get a fucking Airstream now. What's like the most raw, like, this part is not so cool moment. You're like, I could do without this part.
Every single thing that could possibly go wrong on an Airstream went wrong in that year. No joke. Wow. One of the most fun things quote unquote, things that happened is I came home one day and my dog walks up to the Airstream and like literally walks up and goes, Wah! and I'm like, shit, what happened, Bosley? Oh my gosh. And I'm like, are you okay? What happened? I'm like, clearly he's fine. He's ridiculous. What's wrong? So I go to touch the door and I get electrocuted. I do the
How electrocuted? Is this like electric fence electrocution, or is this like you could have stopped your heart?
If I would have continued to touch the Airstream, I would have died.
Luckily, the intense pain discouraged that.
Yes, hence the pain. That's why we have those receptors. And I'm like, okay, so the dog got electrocuted. I got electrocuted. So I call my husband. I'm like,
hey Matt, go on Airstream.
I'm like,
I need the shit's on the counter. Give me that iced tea.
You should go in the Airstream and you should figure out why this thing is electrocuted.
He just grunts. All right, whatever, babe. Holy fuck!
Totally.
Just rips the door off.
And we had to try to figure this out on our own, right? Like, I mean, who are you gonna call?
There's no Airstream mechanic.
In the middle of the desert.
This is a giant metal thing.
Yeah, and it's now electrified. Yeah, and we are the least handy people in the universe. Like, there are no 2 people less handy than my husband and I. And we need to figure out how to get this thing grounded so that we are not electrocuting ourselves and our animals. That was probably one of the more
I would have been like, first things first. What the fuck does grounding? I know grounding's a thing. How do you ground?
This is what Matt does is he's trying to figure out. honey, go touch it again.
See if it shocks you.
I'm not going to
He
touch
walks
it again.
around and stares at it. Goes, I think I fixed it.
I think it's grounded.
The man,
Try again and see if it's still electrified.
So did y'all sleep in the Airstream that night?
We did.
So you figured it out.
We did. We
Alright,
figured out a lot of silly shit.
So that
Bought
was the
some rubber
craziest
gloves.
thing that happened, and you guys figured it out. You didn't have to sleep in a motel.
No, we did not sleep in a motel at all. We figured out all the crazy stuff that happened. I went through a month of panic attack thinking I was going to be trailer trash. That might have been one of the more wrong things as well because, I literally was like, oh my gosh, what did we do? Oh my gosh, we sold our house. We live in a trailer in the middle of Las Vegas at this point, in the worst part of Las Vegas that you could possibly live in, and I am trailer trash. Oh my God, my whole life is going to be trailer trash. A whole month like that, I was a lunatic.
Oh,
I gotta start eating Cheetos.
So
Exactly.
where all did y'all travel?
Mostly on the west. We were in Nevada. We went up into Canada, up into Squamish. We hung out in Southern California. Pretty much the west because we were hitting up climbing areas. That was the original plan.
Yeah, that was where you wanted to
That's
go in the
where
first
it
place.
came from, right?
Yeah.
So we hit up a bunch of.
You should have ventured down to the
Famous
deep
climbing
south, maybe
areas.
through Alabama for a nice scenic tour of the deepest parts.
Well, there's this thing that he does every year, which kind of consumes a lot of our time. that thing he trains for.
Oh yeah.
So
that thing.
we had that thing. So we did have a few constraints that we had to, follow so that he could, compete in that big competition thing.
Figure skating.
Are you competing anymore?
Figure skating.
No, I'm not. No.
No. You're gonna compete again?
I don't know. I'm a master this year. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We'll find out. I don't know.
Yeah, seriously.
So you're gonna wait till
Hell yeah.
wait till next month to find out.
Yeah, right. We'll just. I am definitely registered for the Open. Let's put it that way.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm gonna play and have some fun and put my hands out there, and who knows?
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll be watching. Now everyone's gonna.
No
Yeah.
pressure.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up with that. Thanks for joining us. Had a great
fun
time.
chat, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you guys worked really hard this weekend, so we do appreciate it. I'm sure all the listeners will appreciate it, and they should follow you guys on your Twitters and Instagrams and stuff. Y'all want to give out those
All the handles.
those handles? Yeah.
Yeah, mine's just CrossFit Temecula on Instagram.
Cool.
Shrizzle.
I follow you.
Pat Barber CF.
Awesome.
X Factor _ Chris.
Cool. Awesome, guys.
He's tried out for the show a bunch.
Thanks.
X Factor.
Exactly.
Oh, really?
I had it first. I swear.
No.
It's gonna be in my life.
Does anyone have
somehow.
anything they want to promote right now?
Level 1's go do them.
Anyone have any
Yeah,
spots?
go to level 1, man.
Yeah, right.
That's what
Go to the level 1. Keep us all employed.
This whole podcast was about going to level 1. You definitely though. You seriously.
No,
should
we're not
do it.
just pumping. It's a great
is.
seminar, man. You're gonna learn everything you need to know as a beginner. Not even as a beginner, just as somebody getting their feet wet in CrossFit. So
For sure.
fantastic.
Yep.
All right, guys, make sure to go to barbellshrug.com, sign up for the newsletter so we can send you cool stuff. And I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was fun.